One, two, three. Hey guys, this is Frozen Wish Stews here, and welcome back to another movie review. And today, I'm going to be doing a review on Kraven the Hunter. So, Kraven the Hunter is the sixth and final installment in the Sony villain verse, or as Sony likes to call it, the SSU or Sony Spider-Man Less Universe. And is directed by J.C. Chandor, and it stars Aaron Taylor Johnson, Ariana DeBose, Fred Heckinger, Russell Crowe, Alessandro Nivola, Christopher Abbott, Levi Miller, Billy Barrett, etc. And so the film tells the story of Sergei Kravenov, aka Kraven, Sergei Kravenov, aka Kraven, who was influenced by his father to become a hunter and hunt animals. He was under the control of his father when he was a child, but then decided to move away in order to start a new life where he grows up hunting people, like as in bad people or criminals. And when he was younger, he got bitten by a lion. But was saved by Calypso, who gave him a potion that creates powers, that gives him powers. And so he as an adult, he reunites with his family after being away from them for years. But it turns out that things have changed, and his father has hired criminals to go after him, including Alexei Sistevich, aka the Rhino. And so Kraven must go on different missions in order to stop his father's traps and fight off the criminals. Now this is the Sony Spider-Verse universe. To me, has been hit or miss. I know that this is one of the most hated franchises ever, and recently Sony has just admitted that this was never actually a universe. It was just the Venom films that was a franchise inside of the universe, but it was confirmed that Morbius, Madam Web, and Kraven are all their own thing. But in a way, it still felt like a universe because all of them had one thing in common. They're all villain spin-off films without Spider-Man in them, which is why people consider them as a villain, as a universe called the SSU. Now, I can see why this is one of the most hated franchises ever, but to me personally, I don't think it's as bad as people say it is. Yes, it's more of a hit or miss franchises to me. Now, as for my thoughts on the other Sony villain-verse films, the first Venom movie is honestly overrated nowadays. It's a film that I thought was great when I first saw it in theaters, but now looking back at it, boy, that movie did not age well. And considering the fact that people say it is like the only good and the best Sony villain-verse film, that's actually why I think it's kind of overrated, honestly. Madam Web is a massive disappointment. I actually wanted to like Madam Web. I didn't really give it a fully negative review in my initial review. If you guys remember my initial review of Madam Web, I didn't fully hate it. But now I will admit I hate Madam Web now on reflection. I think it is a bad movie. At least it's enjoyably bad. But it is. It feels like a fan-made film. It's like there's such a lack of superhero action to it, and not a fan. And Dakota Johnson's performance is no better than the 50 Shades films. But I would say that I still like Isabella Merced and Sydney Sweeney. They are the only redeeming qualities in Madam Web. And as for Morbius, honestly, guys, I gotta say, Morbius is the worst. It's not only the worst film in the Sony villainverse, but the worst comic book film of all time now. Yeah, like I was debating on either with that or Batman and Robin as the worst one, but I would watch Batman and Robin any day over Morbius. Morbius is like the lowest of lows for any superhero film or any comic book film period. That movie is such a disgrace, an abomination, and I don't even see how Madam Web is worse than Morbius. Yeah, I think that. I don't understand why people say Madam Web is worse than Morbius. Some people even go as far as calling Kraven worse than Morbius. Yeah, that sucks. Now, I had some optimism about Kraven the Hunter, mainly because this movie was R-rated and stuff. Now, yes, I mean, yes, it is another Sony villain-verse film without Spider-Man, but I will say that it looked alright when the first trailer came out last year. Yeah, it looked just alright at best. I was like, oh yeah, it looks fine. But the more I heard about the more I heard some other things about this film, the more I was like, okay, well maybe this could be a good film, a great SSU film, and could be the best one in the universe. It was either that or Venom: The Last Dance that I was expecting to be the best SSU film. But yeah, there was a lot of promise with the trailers. It made me optimistic, but it gave me some optimism about it. But the fact that it was revealed to be rated R, yeah, that was like, okay, yeah, this should be something. Yeah, that was when I decided, you know what, I'm giving this a chance. Yeah, that's actually the reason why I was optimistic. But then after I saw Wish, a film with Ariana DeBose in it, I got even more optimistic about this one because Ariana DeBose is in this film. In fact, she's the main reason why I was kind of excited for this one. Like, I was actually looking forward to this film, and although I knew that this is going to get hate, yeah, I was hoping that at least it's going to be on the same level as the Venom films, where it's like, okay, it's not downright abysmal. They like the reviews are not like shit and stuff, but yeah, sadly the actual reviews, they say that this is just as bad as Morbius and Madam Web, yeah, which sucks. But it didn't really tone down my expectations. I still went and saw it, and after seeing Kraven the Hunter, yes, I am late to the party. I did see this one a bit late, but yeah, it was because I was initially planning to watch this movie last Friday, but the thing is that I saw Lord of the Rings War of the Rohirrim on Friday instead because of my theaters being shit and doing Lord of the Rings War of the Rohirrim dirty, up to the point where like they literally removed the screenings on Thursday, so I couldn't really go out and watch it. And I was like, and at one point I was like, maybe I can watch Kraven on Thursday. Like I could have watched Kraven last Thursday, but I didn't really fancy it. But now today's the day where I finally got a chance to, and I'm on vacation, by the way. I'm here in Hong Kong right now, which is why you can hear some outdoors things. I'm at the park where it feels so private and perfect for me to record my review of it. So yeah. But anyways, yeah. After seeing Kraven the Hunter, I gotta say, I liked it. Yeah. I mean, it was exactly the movie I wanted it to be and more. Yeah, I actually really liked it. And it's nowhere near as bad as people say it is. In fact, I'm going to go as far as saying that this is now my new favorite SSU film. Yeah, this movie has officially topped Venom: The Last Dance as the best Sony villain-verse movie yet. Okay, I will admit though that I can actually understand why this movie has negative reviews. Why I was never expecting this movie to get positive reviews. I was not expecting that, and I actually would have been surprised if it ended up doing. But to say that this movie is just as bad as Morbius and Madam Web, honestly, that's a bit too far. I'm sorry, but this is not Morbius and Madam Web. And I'd say this is more like the Venom sequels, the two Venom sequels that I liked, like The Last Dance and Let There Be Carnage. Those those were initially the only good Sony Villainverse films, but now Kraven the Hunter is added to the list of Sony Villainverse films that I liked. Yeah, so now the Villainverse is pure hit or miss, with three of them being good and three of them being bad. The bad ones being Venom 1, Morbius, and Madam Web, while the good ones being Let There Be Carnage, The Last Dance, and Kraven the Hunter. But do I think this movie's a masterpiece? Fuck no, don't get me wrong. No, this movie is not a masterpiece. Like, not even close to a masterpiece. It's just more of an enjoyable, guilty pleasure, fun time that definitely has its flaws. Yeah, but I think I should get the flaws out of the way first. So, what are my flaws with Kraven the Hunter, you may ask? The young Kraven sequence, honestly, it went on for way too long. Yeah, I mean, I get that, yes, they were... I knew that was coming, that they were going to explore the origins of Kraven the Hunter in his young self. We were going to see young Kraven and how he got bitten by a lion. But good J-Bus, it was way too long. It was way too long. And there were like a lot of scenes that I would have... And within like that whole extended sequence of Kraven the Hunt, of young Kraven, there were moments where I would have actually cut. Like, one example being Russell Crowe's character, like Nikolai, sitting around the campfire, having a conversation with people around the safari. I would have removed that moment, and also a few others. I know, and say what you want about Furiosa spending an hour with her young self, but at least that there was a good reason as to why it took a while it took a while to see Furiosa grow up, and same with The Lion King with young Simba, taking a while to see young Simba grow into the adult Simba we wanted to see. It made sense. But with Kraven the Hunter, yeah, I think there was no reason why there was no excuse to overextend young Kraven. It took 30 minutes to get going, and I think it should have been at least 10 minutes. I would have removed 20 minutes of it. But my biggest flaw with the film, the worst thing about the film, is fucking Rhino. Oh my goodness. What the fuck have they done to Rhino? Now, I will admit that in the trailers, the Rhino did look convincing. I was like, okay, I think they're going to improve Rhino. They're going to make him a better version of Rhino from the Amazing Spider-Man 2, because I think we can all agree that Rhino in Amazing Spider-Man 2 was not good. It was the whole mech suit bullshit. Yeah. Even though I still like and defend Amazing Spider-Man 2, honestly. But yeah, when I saw the trailers, I was like, ooh, a comic accurate Rhino. Okay, this is something. But we barely saw his full face, straightforward. In the actual film, oh my goodness, not only was the Rhino a letdown, but he is even worse than the Amazing Spider-Man 2 Rhino. I didn't know how Sony found a way to make a Rhino worse than Amazing Spider-Man 2 Rhino, but somehow he did. Not only was Rhino wasted due to his transformation screen time being only 2 minutes long, but his CGI was shit. And good, but he was so fucking weak. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I will say that at least he was kind of a challenge for Kraven to beat, but Kraven easily found him, but he was easily defeated. You wanna know how the Rhino got defeated? Oh boy, yeah. Oh, by the way, speaking of which, guys, this is going to be a spoiler review, mainly because a lot of people I know have already seen Kraven, so I'm going to be spoiling the shit out of this film, yeah. And including that one major plot twist at the end. So, yeah, but, yeah, he got defeated by tying him with a rope, I think an anchor, tossing the other side of a rope to a ram, the ram because there was like a stampede of rams, and then have Rhino run over by the rams, and then get stabbed. Yeah. Yeah, and then we saw like him like transform back into Alexi, and oh my goodness, yeah. I mean, I didn't even care that much about Alexi in the first place. I mean, Alessandro Nilova's performance was meh, like probably the weakest performance in the film to me. But once he transformed into the Rhino, like I could not see Alexi the same way. And he was the main villain of the film, for crying out loud. Yeah, he was the freaking main antagonist of the film. Yeah, more than Russell Crowe's performance. Yeah. But yeah, besides that overlong prologue and Rhino being complete shit, everything else about the film, great. Yeah. Now, speaking of villains, I will just get this one out of the way. One thing I forgot to mention in my Letterboxd review of the film, I actually thought the foreigner was a solid villain. Like, he was honestly the better villain of the film than Rhino. Because he actually did have cool powers. Sure, yeah, he didn't really have much. He didn't serve a purpose in the story, but I thought his powers were cool. When he went invisible, he for 3 seconds, and he would count 1, 2, 3 while being invisible, and then after the third second, he would kill someone. Yeah. When I said that 1, 2, 3 in the intro thing, yeah, I was actually referencing the foreigner because I thought he was a solid villain, one of the better Sony villains, honestly. But yeah, as for other positives I have with the film and why I liked it, Aaron Taylor Johnson carried the role of Kraven. Yeah, I mean, people actually say that Aaron Taylor Johnson was actually the one good thing about the film, and I agree that Aaron Taylor Johnson was actually pretty good as Kraven. He was badass, and he actually did fit the role of Kraven. You can clearly see him be Kraven the Hunter, and if he actually played Kraven in a Spider-Man movie as the main villain fighting against Spider-Man, I mean, that would have worked too. And I do think Aaron Taylor Johnson is a great actor. I think that I think that between the two Marvel roles that Aaron Taylor Johnson had, this is way better than him as Quicksilver in Avengers Age of Ultron, because yeah, I mean, even though I still defend Age of Ultron, I still think it's an underrated gem. Aaron Taylor Johnson's Quicksilver was my one flaw with that film, and also why even have I just think it's unnecessary that the MCU would have their own version of Quicksilver when a year ago Quicksilver was brought into the X-Men universe. So yeah, it felt unnecessary. More on that in 2026 as I will review the Avengers 1 and Avengers Age of Ultron leading up to Avengers Doomsday. So yeah, yeah, the action scenes were absolutely brutal as hell, and it did make use of the R rating. The R rating is one reason why I think Kraven the Hunter is the best Sony Villainverse films, and it's actually my one major problem with the Villainverse films, specifically with Venom. Venom should have been an R rated film. I mean, Venom is a monster. It's like a creature who eats people, and when he eats people, there should be blood, and Venom is meant to be scary. So, even though I'm okay with comedic Venom, especially with the sequels helping me appreciate comedic Venom, I do wish that Venom was a monster, was actually like depicted as a monster who eats people, and there's like brutal gore in there, and it's R-rated. Yeah, I wish we got that kind of Venom. But I'm glad that at least Sony gave us one R-rated film in the Villainverse, and Kraven the Hunter, it did feel earned. Yeah, and you can clearly see why it was rated R. And yeah, my favorite action scene in the film, I think it's probably the oh yeah, my favorite action scene. I'll talk about that later on in the review. Russell Crowe and Fred Heikinger were great too. Yeah, great doing the roles. Yeah, Nikolai wasn't the type of character that he was promoted to be. He's still a villain, but not like as evil as the trailers depicted him as. But oh well. I mean, I'm okay with that either way. I still like Nikolai. Pretty solid character. Dimitri was my favorite male character in the film. Now, yes, I did get spoiled for the ending of the film, specifically when the plot twist that Dimitri is actually the chameleon. Sure, I wish that the movie had more emphasis on chameleon, and he was like more used in the film. But yeah, I do feel bad for Dimitri because like he was like clearly brainwashed by Alexei and probably Nikolai too. He was so likable throughout the film. He was like arguably one of the most likable characters in the film, and I actually do really like the brotherhood chemistry between Kraven and Dimitri. It worked for me, and you can clearly feel their bonding. But yeah, it sucks that Dimitri had to turn evil and become the chameleon. Yeah, the film did set up a sequel that we're not gonna get because this movie is a massive flop. So yeah, but of course I've saved the best for last. The main reason as to why I like this film, why I think it is the best Sony Villainverse film, is Ariana DeBose. Yeah. Oh, but by the way, fuck the people who say that she's the worst character in the film. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say like a lot of like horrible things about Ariana DeBose. Like, oh, she's so bad at acting. Oh, she's a bad actress. Oh, she has to fire her manager. Oh, yeah, they even said that they used AI on her mouth. Yeah, and people were saying that she gave the worst performance in the film. I'm sorry, but that's just sexist because Ariana DeBose was actually the only female character in the film. Like all of the films were male characters. But seriously, so to say that the one and only female character in the film is the worst character, like in a movie with mostly male characters but one, that is honestly sexist. But to me personally, I'd argue that I think people should have looked at Ariana DeBose as a positive for the film, not a negative. I swear to God, I'm worried. I'm honestly worried now that she's going to get nominated for Worst Supporting Actress in the Razzies. And the Razzies, if you do, yeah, if the Razzies do that, I will rant in the Razzies. Plus, I am already planning to rant in the Razzies, this year's Razzie, because I can tell that they're going to nominate Joker Folie à Deux for a lot of Razzies and other films that I like. Just please don't nominate Ariana DeBose, please. Yeah, I'm already prepared for what shit the Razzies can pull off, anyways. But I mean, even if I can understand why people don't like the film overall, I will never understand the hate for Ariana DeBose in this film. Like, come on, why? Out of all the cast in this film that you want to target, why Ariana DeBose? Seriously, she didn't do anything wrong. In fact, Calypso is objectively the best character in the film, the best written character, and just the most badass character. Heck, there was even girl power in this film too. Like when, even the child version of Calypso, she saved Kraven's life. She was the one who gave Kraven the potion. She's the reason why Kraven's alive. So technically, Calypso is actually the true hero of the film to me. I think that Calypso really is the true hero. But yeah, and there was some girl power too. Not just that, but yeah, she was actually the one who killed the foreigner. Yeah. My favorite scene in the film was when Kraven versus the foreigner, and the foreigner almost defeated Kraven, like almost like legit killed him. But then when the foreigner was like 1, 2, I'm about to count to 3 seconds until he kills Kraven. At the third second, Calypso shoots foreigner, kills him, and she says, 3, motherfucker. Yeah, that was actually my favorite line in the film. Yeah, and even though I know the Sony Villainverse is ending, honestly, I actually wish that they made a Calypso spin-off. I would love to see that film. Yeah, hopefully Marvel can give Ariana DeBose another role in the MCU, and honestly, she deserves bigger roles. Like now, I'm hoping that Ariana DeBose can one day star in movies that get positive reviews, because I feel really bad for Ariana DeBose and all the movies she's in after West Side Story. She's an Oscar winner for crying out loud. Yeah, she won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress from West Side Story. And yeah, this would be my third favorite. Calypso's my third favorite Ariana DeBose role behind Asha from Wish and Anita from West Side Story. So yeah, well, there is a new Ariana DeBose movie coming out in February 2025 called Love Hurts. That's made by the same studio as The Fall Guy and some other great action films. So fingers crossed that Love Hurts can be the first Ariana DeBose movie in a while to get positive reviews. So overall, Kraven the Hunter is no masterpiece, but it is the best that the SSU has to offer yet, and it is a top 3 comic book movies of the year for me. There were other things to like about the film as well, but honestly, I would have liked the film less if it wasn't for Ariana DeBose, or at least an actress one passionate about. Yeah, Ariana DeBose is one of my favorite actresses of all time, and yeah, and if Ariana DeBose was not in the film, I would have said that the film was just alright, but either way, I'd still give this one a pass because at least it's enjoyable. And unlike Morbius and Madam Web, at least Kraven the Hunter felt like a real movie. It felt like an actual movie to see that's worth watching in theaters. Like, it's not like it didn't feel like a fan-made film at all. Even the action scenes, I didn't see any choppy editing like what people say, like not at all. So yeah, so with that said, guys, I'm gonna give Kraven the Hunter 4 stars out of 5. Great movie, yeah. One of my guilty pleasures of the year. So also for my review of Kraven the Hunter, what are your thoughts in the film? Who agrees with me that Kraven the Hunter is the best Sony Villainverse film? Or do you think it's one of the worst ones? But at the very least, did you like Ariana DeBose says Calypso in it? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and yeah, I won't be doing any more videos for a while because I'll be on vacation. Tomorrow, you won't be seeing me do any content. So next week I will return with more videos. My next video is going to be my review on Sonic the Hedgehog 3. So yeah, bye guys.